Hello, and welcome to Bodied, a Cloud9 fancast. I'm your host, Howardpuss, and I'm joined by Frozen Craig. You're back.
Yeah, I am back. I'm not in full capacity. My car broke down when I was driving home from my girlfriend's over the weekend. And I've not been home in 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to uh play Football Manager, play League, and instead I'm at my dad's house
Oh, it sounds like you're
where
just
he,
struggling.
yeah, it's been a long 2 weeks, but he is blasting music downstairs, although I don't think it's coming through, and
No, I don't hear it at all.
my neighbor is getting their roof redone, so I am in optimal recording conditions, but I'm hoping that it works out okay. It's all smooth. How's it going with you?
It's going okay. I got back to work finally after
Oh yeah.
a nice 5-week vacation. Basically, it's like, well, you got to go back to work now, and then I'm doing my night shift rotation, and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh well. Eventually, I guess.
Yeah. At least I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
But we got some Cloud9 news to disperse and dispense for you, Frozen. Rainbow Six actually had a pretty big win yesterday morning. They played against Cyclops in the R6 APAC Major semifinals. And like this is basically like what the August Major is supposed to be. Like apparently Ubisoft had they're going to do this big major event, in August. And it was going to be in North America, but then the virus happened. And so well, no one can really travel anywhere. So they're just doing major tournaments within each respective region and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so for our region, we played against Cyclops yesterday in the semifinals, and we played really good and we beat them 2-0.
Oh,
Yeah, we play against Giants Gaming in the grand finals this weekend, I think.
oh, cool.
Which kind of sucks because Giants Gaming is really, really good, and I don't think we've beaten them before. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's gonna be tough. Our players are really good. Like we've from what I've seen, the teams can really pop off, and they can they can really do some great stuff. So hopefully they have a game plan to try and beat the Giants. It's gonna be really tough, but if they can win, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when it would be. Oh gosh. I'm assuming it's. Is it South Asia final? No, that's not correct.
Hold on.
North Division final, best of 5,
Yes,
Sunday,
North
August
Division.
9th. And that is 10. Oh god, it's at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or something dumb like that.
Yeah, it's
if I'm reading this correctly.
It's super duper early in the morning for anyone in America.
Man, I kind of wanted to watch, but there is a 0% chance I'm up to watch that.
Yeah. But
So,
if you can watch, tune in to watch our boys in action.
Yeah, if you're
I'm sorry,
not
what?
stateside at least.
Oh yeah.
No, continue.
The Valorant boys, we got some news for them. Shinobi, who has been playing with us for a while now, he has been signed as sort of the fourth member of our Valorant team. We got one spot left.
Yeah, he's been playing with us, right?
Yeah. It's been Shinobi and Vice. Like the main squad that we've been playing with has basically just been slowly signed. Like every couple of events, Cloud9 will just be like, "Hey, we signed this player."
Yeah, it's been trickling in. I'm not sure what the hold up has been, but it is good to get our in-game leader signed.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. I watched an interview with him, and he said that they were initially planning to just sign the roster a lot quicker because I think they had plans to get Infinite playing
okay.
on the roster, but Infinite decided to stay in CS and not play Valorant professionally. So that left a lot of the team to kind of be no one really knows what they're going to do with the team now, right? Because they had a plan, but I think Shinobi wanted to stay in CS, and then I think we were also going to sign Leaf. But then Leaf, I think, also wanted to stay in CS, or something happened with Leaf.
Okay.
And so we didn't sign him. So then the roster was kind of like, we don't know what to do. So then we had to kind of do it in like a piecemeal kind of, we'll sign one person and then another person and then another person. But we have like the majority of the roster signed, and it's been with people we've been playing with since the beginning, basically.
Yeah, it must be some kind of contract issues or something, or they're leaking it slowly. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be a number of things. I will say that it makes the actual signing announcements much more exciting because it's like, oh, they did it. You know, they worked hard and they played with this team and they managed to like check the box that makes them worthy enough to get the full signing. So it's always great to when they put out a video like that. For those that want to see us play next, we actually play in the Fake Ignition event. Today is August 6th. 6. Anyway.
Something like that.
Something like that. I can't get the sound. It's hard. It kind of blurs in with the X sound, so it kind of just...
Oh, yeah. 6th. August 6th. Thursday.
6th. But they play in that today, throughout the weekend. The lineup for this event is actually super duper stacked. We got Genji, we got Sentinels, we got TSM, we got Renegades, we got T1, Envy, Complexity, FaZe Clan, Immortals, 100 Thieves. We have like just pretty much like it is a who's who, the best of the best of North America right now. And it is going to be super duper tough. Our group has TSM, Renegades, and Bloom. I haven't heard who
tough.
Bloom is. Bloom is one of the Orgless sort of, pros and high-ranking players just kind of getting together to make a team, and then they got through like a qualifier stage or something.
Mm-hmm.
But our group seems pretty tough. Like each group seems pretty tough. I think Group A is probably the worst because you have to go against Sentinels and Genji, and even Built by Gaming is somewhat okay. So that's a tough group. Our group is TSM, Renegades, and Bloom. I think I actually just said that.
Tough, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. TSM is a challenging team. They haven't looked good as good in recent events versus when they were first formed. I think if anything, we drop a match to TSM, but I think we beat Renegades and Bloom fairly easily, right? Because Tens is insane. Relics and Mitch are putting up really great numbers, out behind him, and Vice I think is even pretty close to them as well. And Shinobi, people have been criticizing like Shinobi as being the weakest player, because he's not getting that many kills. He's not doing successfully in terms of combat score and everything. But he is the in-game leader. But the past couple events, he's actually looked like he's improved quite a lot, and he's actually been playing a lot better. So I think our lineup has a really good shot of getting out of groups. I'm not sure how it will be going through the playoff stage. That's going to be really tough because there's so many good teams, and if we get matched up with like Sentinels, that's going to be such a tough match, and that's going to be so hard to actually get to that next stage. But
yeah, it is an interesting setup too. But we do start off against Renegades, so I think that's good.
That should be like a really good like opener. We've beaten Renegades pretty handily before when we played them in the PAX Arena, and I think we also played them in the Pulse Invitational. But we haven't had too much problems when playing against Renegades, so that match should be good. I think we shouldn't have any problem with Bloom. I've never even heard of them.
Yeah, me neither.
And TSM really is probably going to be the match that we try to like hard prepare for because they have a really good team.
Yeah, we could end up playing them second if both of us win. If not, if one of us wins and one of us loses, we might not play each other.
Yeah, that may actually be better to avoid trying to play your tough competition right off the bat.
or yeah, so it's not a round robin group. It's a double elimination group where the winner of the first two
Oh,
games play wins
okay.
the group, I think, and then the losers play. The loser gets knocked out, and then the winner of the losers game plays the loser of the winners
Oh,
game, and then the
that's
winner of that game goes
so
on.
weird.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't
know
know
if I
why they
like it.
don't.
I'm
Yeah, it's kind of cool, but and
it's
then
different and I don't like it.
yeah, well, this won't be up by the time we play Renegades because I'm still waiting on
Right.
my car to get fixed. But
But yeah,
we
if cheer for the team. I guess also a bit of news. We also got announced to the I think it's the Pittsburgh Knights. I think they're another esports organization. And we got invited to their tournament as well.
cool.
I can't find the news article. Oh well, that's not important. But what is important is we got signed, or we got invited to another match. Like I think like Shinobi said in that it maybe wasn't the video or something, but he was basically saying how they have like maybe like their whole month of August is basically booked, where they're just doing event after event, basically.
Oh, well, that's
And
good.
yeah, he said it was actually like really tough to it's kind of tough to really see who's the best if like you're constantly playing events, you know,
Hmm.
and everything, and the the game is new. You're constantly just going from like event to event to event. Um, and there's no real downtime to really like strategize and like really practice for like something that's coming up.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, go support your team. Um, moving on to Overwatch, we got the London Spitfire frozen. They're just struggling, and I feel for
Yeah.
them. They're just these bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kids. They're coming in. They're glad they're going to play in the Overwatch League, and then they're just the virus happens, so they can't. I think what our plan was going into this was we are going to get this rookie squad. We're going to play in a we're going to play in the Atlantic Division, which doesn't have a lot of stiff competition, so they can get their feet wet. You can really work on their issues, build up their confidence. They become strong as the season goes on, and then maybe when you get to playoffs, really try to test yourself against some tougher teams. See what adjustments you need to make there with the roster. Then, but basically, you go to Korea, you play against all of these stronger teams, and they just don't seem ready for the level of competition. It's it's also frustrating because I can't really watch the games because they happen at like 3 in the
Yeah.
morning sometimes. But seeing the results and reading the comments and seeing that basically the team seems to just lack a clutch factor. Like
Hmm.
they have good individual mechanics and everything, but they just play to this default kind of standard to where they just try things. They don't try to push things. They don't try to like get overly aggressive or really try to punish like a team. When they misstep or something, we make a really good Overwatch team, and they just seem to be missing those. I don't know if we will still make playoffs or not.
The whole website is kind of messed, or the
they're
whole
yeah
app is
they're
kind of
they're Blizzard never fixes their stuff. It's honestly
yeah.
like it like no wonder like your company is slowly but
The
surely
conference
going under.
leaders are Shanghai, which is correct, and then they have second being Boston, who is 2-17 and in 20th place. So I'm not sure if I would consider that leader or not, but I don't think that's second place in like a
Yeah,
first round bye or
we
anything.
do have the Countdown Cup, which is this weekend. We play Chengdu Hunters, who is I guess the second in the Asia division. Yeah, they're ranked second, so we play them. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can win. I'm not even focused really on playoffs anymore. Playoffs are whatever. I think at this point it's more about what you're going to do in the off season. You know, if Cloud9's really dedicated to Overwatch League, and if we still think this is a good investment and something that we still want to do, I think that they need to look at the team and kind of. I think really they need to get out some of the weaker rookies that we brought in and bring in just a few really solid, really proven veteran talents to lead the rest of the team, because you're missing a lot of these intangibles that take a while to build up. And you know, if your DPS can't be that clutch factor that wins you those 2-2 matches against Shanghai or Seoul or whatever, that you're not going to be a really good team. On the flip side, the British Hurricane been really good. They're I think they're still first in the EU contenders scene. Who knows? Maybe London just switches out. They just completely get rid of this Korean rookie roster and they just swap in the British Hurricanes, because on paper, at least with how they play, British Hurricanes are at least more consistent.
Honestly, it might not be that bad of an idea just to give them a European identity also.
Yeah,
and they're probably cheaper, and I don't think Cloud9 cares all that much about Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's such a weird situation, especially with what's going on with Blizzard right now, and people basically demanding that they get paid a fair share, when they're starting to this was something I read yesterday, but they're starting to unionize and actually form this whole big spreadsheet of people sharing their income, so people get basically what they deserve to be paid rather than what Blizzard's actually paying them and everything.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, which is great. I'm all for that. Blizzard's news cycle for the past little while has not been the best.
Oh yeah, it's been a shit show.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what it was, but I was reading something on Reddit about the Blizzard CEO or something, and it was just a shit show.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Activision CEO.
Yeah, because Activision owns Blizzard. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if their company eventually does just go under with how they've just mismanaged every single aspect of their company over the past 5 or so years.
Yeah, I still haven't played Hearthstone since they banned that Hong Kong streamer.
Oh yeah, that was
almost
another
a year
mess
ago at this point, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I don't really miss it. I've only played a half hour of Legends of Runeterra, but it seems good.
Yeah, it's okay. I played it a little bit, but I think I just don't like card games because you have to think too much.
Well, that might explain your elo in League of Legends then.
It's probably true.
Too hard to think.
It's probably true. I just use Monkey Brain. Me use Monkey Brain. Me see minion, me kill. It's. But I speaking of League of Legends, we got some really disappointing news over the weekend, which is C9 breaking their super long 0-2 streak, and we lost to Golden Guardians and TSM.
And neither of them were pretty. No.
And so there was a quote. You know how each week they I think it's Hyde's brother. He does that top 10 thing, and he does a little blurb about each team.
I don't know, but I'm interested.
Okay. I think they post something about it each week. You can probably check LOL Esports, and okay. All of his columns are up there. But cool. there was a tweet that they a quote that they took from that for this week, and he used a BoJack quote, which was basically, when you wear rose-tinted glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. And
oh yeah,
that definitely feels like what the situation is, because if you look at the last few weeks, their experimentation, quote unquote, They'd be like, okay, they're trying some weird stuff. They're trying some new things. Okay, they're losing, but they still look confident. We're probably still okay. And then the losses get worse and worse. And now it's at this point of, oh, maybe they weren't just experimenting and they're just lost. And they just don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, and I think is C9 in a slump? The answer to that is yes. But I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about it because I haven't been home to consume all that much media or anything. But I've just been waiting for someone to show some fire and like show that they actually care, that they're getting their ass beat. They've now lost five and five.
Yeah, I think we're like
2 and
5 in the second half of the split.
Yeah.
I think they show that they care. I think it's mostly they're just defeated.
I don't think so.
Because it seems like everything they're trying is just not working. They lost to Golden Guardians when they played. They picked a fairly standard comp. It wasn't anything too out there or too weird. It was exactly everyone was kind of on a comfort pick. Everyone was kind of doing what they would normally do, and they just don't look coordinated anymore. And I've read a lot of comments. I've talked with a bunch of people on the subreddit in the match threads and stuff, and it seems like it's a mix of our playstyle was actually somewhat outdated at the start of the year, but since North America was so far behind and the competition was so poor relatively, we were able to make a meta that really wasn't a thing anymore work for spring. And then going over that, the meta kept changing further and further away from that. And we didn't recognize until it was too late that we can't play like we've been playing anymore. And so now we just don't know what to do. We're really behind. And I think a lot of our weaknesses are just being exposed by what's strong and everything right now. I think apart from that, I think also just on an individual basis, our solo roles are probably looking the worst that they've looked. Like Licorice, I think especially is someone I want to point out because he has been playing probably the worst he's ever played on C9. He is making a lot of mistakes. He's just killing himself over and over. His TP flanks and his sort of flank engagements just don't look coordinated and well done anymore.
His laning is just bad.
His laning's bad too.
He lost the TSM game on like the third wave.
Yeah. Like
he got froze on him, and it was just GG.
He also just didn't respect the Twisted Fate ultimate. Like that
was because his lane was frozen and he was trying to get gold.
That's true. But I think that he's just been playing poorly. I think overall, Blabber is just not playing how he used to. It used to be we're contesting every dragon. We're like, as soon as the dragon spawns, we're there. As soon as the Rift Herald spawns at 8 minutes, it's Blabber. Bot lane rotates over, and we get it. Now he's farming a lot slower. He's not, he's not at neutral objectives, and he's not contesting the objectives as well as he should be. He's farming a lot slower, and he seems to just be behind when a play happens, or he just says, I'm going to go in when clearly the rest of the team is trying to get out. And so the team has to turn around. Niski, I think, also has just been playing not as well. He looks like such a different player when he has to stay in a static lane and he can't roam. It's honestly, it's such a night and day difference. Like in spring, Niski was crushing it because he was able to constantly cause these uneven fights, right? He's going to top lane, he's going to bottom lane, he's contesting Rift Herald or Dragon, and he's doing super well. But now that he can't do that anymore, I think he's really kind of being exposed as where his skill really is relatively, when he can't really do that much and really impact the game when he has to stay in mid lane for a lot of it.
I mean, I don't think he's been bad, but I just don't think that he's been able to help out the other lanes as much. So it's not so much him, it's Blabber and Licorice who aren't being able to take their advantage from mid, as opposed to them getting it on their own, which is what they're doing now.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and it's not working.
I will say his Azir is trash though. Like
it's not. I mean, he never really got to a point where he could impact the game. His the river fight against TSM where they killed Harold. I think they killed Harold, and then what's his face? Spica Flash was set did the pulling in thing. The thing, and then
you could just call it a suplex. That's what most people call it.
Suplex. Okay, the suplex, and then I think he ulted, and then went out, and then he got Blackbird double kill. That was pretty sick.
It was a good play. Like they played that well, but I think I'm talking about more overall and how he plays Azir. He seems to just not be able to get really as much damage off as other people playing Azir. Like if you watch like Bjergsen or Jensen play Azir, they're able to get a lot of damage off, but when Niski's playing, he's not getting as much damage, I feel, that they would normally get at similar power spike areas, and he gets chunked a lot quicker. So his Azir feels really like unoptimal for what we want to kind of do. And I think that it's certainly not helping things.
I think it was a bad pick with the team comps, but I think he can still play it. I just think that our draft has to be better and different for him.
Yeah, our draft it definitely has to be different.
Because Morgana is too much of a cock block.
We keep letting it go.
Way too fed.
We keep letting it go, which is really weird because like we draft so much like heavy single target CC. Like we're our plan is clearly we're going to pick one person, we're going to blow them up, and then with the 4v5 we can then kind of use our team fighting to win. But with Morgana, it's just like Black Shield. Okay, I've absorbed like CC. So your initial engage doesn't work. Now we have a few seconds to kind of reset and
trap.
Yeah,
gold card.
Yeah, I think letting Caitlyn go is also
it's over.
Letting them get Caitlyn after it like being heavily discussed is like suddenly a top tier pick because of the buffs that she got. That also felt kind of a bad move.
It was a weird draft. Didn't we give up Caitlyn first and then go Ashe Karma, and then they got to pick TF on their second rotation, which is not ideal because we
and our last pick was Kennen.
It was up and open.
Yeah.
Or no, our last pick was Volibear, I thought. Or no, it was
no, I think we got Volibear in the first round.
Yeah, we went Volibear Ashe, and then we went Karma, then we went Kennen because they had the set already.
Yeah.
And then we went Azir last.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Aurelia into Kennen is a decent a matchup, and we kind of fucked ourselves on that one.
Yeah. I will say in terms of positives, our bot lane still looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, they had a pushing lane at least.
I think that in terms of
both games,
I think at least in terms of how our bot lane is playing, we're playing really, really well. Like Sven is able to get off like a ton of damage even with his team playing so suboptimally. And I think Vulcan's able to do basically all that he can. I think that it's just an issue of, as a support, how much can you really impact it when your other teammates, from mid to top are struggling. And especially when I think that Blabber really needs to just start playing towards bot lane. Like Licorice is playing poorly and, his champion pool seems to just not be working out. Why continuously visit top lane a bunch when you have a bot lane that is like, you can definitely carry hard with that lane if it's ahead. Why not give Sven and Vulcan every single, bit of resources that you can to let them actually do what they are known to do, rather than, we'll let them play weak side and then try to help Licorice. It just hasn't really seemed to work out. And I think they really just need to reevaluate how they approach the early game and how they play stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like the meta is not that bad champion wise for us. Like I'm looking through some match stats from this morning to see the champions picked. Like here's a set mid against a Zoe mid with Ashe and Catalista. But the main thing I'm seeing that's really different is support picks. So in just the Damwon Genji best of 3 series, we saw a Poppy, Gragas, Lulu, Bard, Sejuani, and Tahm Kench.
Wait, a support Sejuani?
Yeah.
What are they doing over there?
They won that game. They first picked Twisted Fate, came back with Kalista, Jace, and then they brought out Karthus, Sejuani in their third rotation. So it's a wild comp, but they beat Aurelia. Aurelia, what's his name? The guy who makes it all go black.
Oh, Nocturne.
Yeah, Nocturne. Aurelia, Nocturne. Galio, as real Tahm Kench. So I mean, it worked out.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know. I think we need to reevaluate what's good and what's not. I think also we maybe just need to start saying, forget the meta, forget playing Volibears and sets and everything, and just play to what we know that we can play at a much better level. You know, I don't understand why we can't pick Blabber like Lee Sin or Elise or something. An interesting point that the casters brought up is that Blabber has never once played Graves, even though Graves is like the only aggressive kind of carry jungler, quote unquote, that's in the meta right now.
Graves.
For North America.
I still don't like Graves.
It's a very weird pick. I've seen it like do like really, really well and do like an insane amount of damage. And I've seen other times it just be so pointless because he's such a short range champion that if you walk up to anyone, you're just dead and you can't really do anything.
Yeah, and the jungle picks in Korea are Karthus, Nocturne, Olaf, Volibear, Nidalee, Lee Sin. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And
I think if Nocturne and Lear are meta, I don't understand why we don't just pick Blabber those, because Blabber has a great Nocturne and a great Lee Sin. You know, I don't understand why you're picking these sort of tank junglers where they're slower, like he wants to go in, but they just don't have the damage or anything to really do what he wants. So I think that that's forcing him to second guess himself on, when he can go in and when he can't. It's been really weird watching him play these tank junglers like Volibear and Set. He seemed, in Trundle, like he seems to just be, he feels so awkward watching him play versus the first half of the split, or at the beginning of the year in spring when he was playing Olafs and Elises and Lee Sins and stuff, and just,
or even Set.
Yeah, or even Set. Like his Set's actually okay.
Or so. Yeah, sorry to sidetrack again, but Billy Gaming played Aatrox jungle today.
How did that work?
5-1 and 13.
Oh wow! Did they win?
Yeah, they beat RNG 2-0.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so
Blabber needs to start taking notes and start just picking these carry champions.
I don't think that's the right pick, but
no, it's the right pick. It's the right solution.
I would really like to see us play Aurelia mid with a Nidalee jungle and Jace top sometime. I think
maybe not Jace top. Licorice's Jace.
I mean, I don't like.
I don't trust it,
but it fits the comp.
Right. I will say that Niski last year, Niski did play Aurelia a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's at least a champion that he's familiar with.
Good at. Yeah, and you can play Vlad top. You can play Kennen a lot better top, Karma top. Or there's a ton of AP options up there now, so it's not like you're gated by an AD mid.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of problems. I would really like to see just us really digging our heels in and really studying these other regions on what's working, on what's not, really practicing in scrims and stuff, just, okay, we're going to pick like 2 or 3 comps or something, and these are just going to be what we do, because it's comfortable, we excel at it. I've apparently heard that they're crushing scrims, so I'm not sure how they're not able to really translate it to stage.
Yeah, and luckily this week we probably have the easiest schedule of anyone.
Yeah,
so that will help us, because right now we're sitting in 3rd, tied with TSM. So we really need that 2 seed. So I guess since there's 1 week left, should we talk about the playoff bracket a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk about that. Where did I put that? So the playoff bracket's really interesting in that they have a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. This is the first time that they're really doing it. The first and second place teams get a bye for the first week. And basically, the first round's
advantage.
It's a huge advantage. And basically, like, 3rd seed plays 6th seed, 4th plays 5th, 8th and 7th play the losers of the winners bracket. I guess you call that round of 16, because it's technically not like the quarterfinals if you would look at it.
It's not anything. It doesn't make sense, to be honest.
I'm just gonna call it the first round.
Yeah, the first or play-in round.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a really interesting format. In terms of world qualifiers, it's basically championship winner, 2nd place loser, and then the 3rd place winner.
Yeah. And the way that it works out is the first seed gets their pick of whoever wins between the 3rd and 6th, 4th and 5th. So we could if we were to end up 2nd seed, we could end up playing TSM in our first match.
Yeah. That's
or we could play FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, or Evil Geniuses. And it's not our choice.
Yeah, it's a really rough kind of system. I'm more just nervous about playoffs in general, because with how we've been playing in the regular season so far, I'm not really confident we'll go very far at all. I'm not really confident we'll even be able to make Worlds, even as like a 3rd seed, with just how we've been playing. The team says that they're confident that they'll do better in playoffs, but it's kind of hard to convince me, at least, when you've just been having these really poor showings week in, week out for like 4 weeks.
Or yeah, and we did see some of the highs against FlyQuest when we wiped them out of the water, but that was 2-3 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
Yeah, so I think if we want some confidence for playoffs, we do need a 2-0 week without any hiccups, but I highly doubt that they're going to give us that, just because a Reaper doesn't seem to see the world that way.
Yeah,
we'll end up playing Azir, Ashe, Tom Kench, and we'll do a 35-40 minute death match against Dig.
Yeah. This week I'm actually really nervous about, just because with where we're at, probably confidence wise, and how our recent showings are. I'm actually nervous that we actually just lose to Dig and CLG, even though they look like just the worst performing teams, just all around.
I'd be really surprised if we lost, because CLG and Dig are easily the 2 worst teams right now.
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that it can definitely. I think that that's still a definite possibility. I think especially when the team is at such a low point. I think at least from a psychological level, if you're failing a lot and you're really struggling a lot, I think you're gonna, you just second guess yourself more. So I think that the team may second guess themselves more in draft. They may, just second guess themselves when they're playing, and it'll be like one of our games that we should have won over the past couple of weeks, where we make like one mistake and then it basically costs us the game because we weren't thinking properly, and we end up losing. So I think that I really want to see the team just have focus, have a renewed drive. I don't know what you need to do to get that, but
yeah,
I want to see them come in confident. I want to see them play things that work to their strengths and aren't super weird and out of the realm of possibility, I guess. I don't know. I think that what Cloud9 needs to do here really is just show your confidence, show that you understand what's going on within the meta, and that you can adapt and actually play well within the confines of what everyone in North America has deemed as strong.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that really needs to change starting now is for the past 8 weeks plus all off season plus the end of last split, they were talking like champions and playing like champions too. But lately they've been spending too much time talking like champions and not playing like it. So that needs to switch, because it has not been a pleasant couple weeks, and we finally broke our own 2 streak, which dated back to week 3 of
I think it was
2018.
So yeah. I think it's been like a couple of years since we had an O2 week.
Yeah, it was over 2 years. So I hope that that's the wake up that they need to start playing again like champions. Luckily this week we played Dig and CLG, and if we are to get the 2nd seed, we are actually in luck, because TSM plays Golden Guardians and Team Liquid, which is probably the toughest schedule of the week.
Yeah, Golden Guardians,
I'm assuming.
Golden Guardians has actually looked like a fairly solid team. Like, I think Closer, Golden Guardians is doing what basically we did in spring, where they didn't really, I think, adhere too strictly to the meta per se, but they figured out a play style that really, really works for them, and they just play within the confines of their style, and they play confidently, and they're able to get some really good wins off of just playing to their strengths and playing confidently in their own style, rather than trying to really be these super duper meta slaves to things. So I could definitely see TSM actually dropping both of those games. I think for sure they lose to Team Liquid. I don't think there's any way that they would beat them.
I mean, they could, but if Team Liquid wins, they're guaranteed 1st place. So all they have to do is win their 1st game, and that is crap. I think it was actually kind of or no, their 1st game's against Immortals. Okay, so they control all weekend.
Yeah, I think that Team Liquid's definitely going to come out swinging, just to make sure they secure, that their spot and stuff. It's going to be an interesting weekend. And then from there we'll take it a step at a time. Hopefully, once we figure out who we're playing in playoffs, it will at least allow us to kind of go in and say, okay, we're playing against one team, instead of having to split time and try to prepare for both teams and try to do all this other stuff. Just say, okay, whoever we're playing against, they play like this. How do we beat this? And then they just prepare super hard to come up with strategies to counter how the enemy team plays and beat them. But I think that with all the recent struggles and everything, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, so unfortunately, due to seeding, we will not really get a chance to pick our opponent. So I do think that we're going to end up facing TSM no matter what in that first 2nd seed game. B2, they call it on their playoff format chart. But yeah, I think right now it's looking like it's going to be in the 3rd, 1st, 6th. It's going to be either us or TSM versus Evil Geniuses, unless 100 Thieves can sneak in there. They play. Oh yeah, they play on Sunday. So if Dig beats or if 100 Thieves beats Dig and Golden Guardians beats Evil Geniuses, they'll be playing for 6th place on Sunday.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, so that'll be fun. And then they would play us or TSM, and it looks like it's gonna be FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians. But who knows if FlyQuest wins out? They could take that third seed from us or TSM because they can get up to 12 wins too.
Yeah, and I think also adding in, instead of being the top 6 teams, now it's the top 8. I think it's now a lot more competitive for teams trying to squeak in to get as good of a playoff seeding as they can.
Yeah, and FlyQuest has CLG and Immortals this weekend, so they're kind of a shoe-in to 12 wins.
Oh but yeah, this is gonna be a really rough situation going this weekend. Hopefully D9 can at least.
I think we'd get a tiebreaker over them because we beat them both times. I think. If not,
I think we do have head-to-head. I think it will be interesting how our situation shakes out, where we land up, and then where some of the bottom teams kind of go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a really exciting weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. There's everything to play for still. First place is technically still in reach for us. The bottom of the table is looking good. If Immortals can sneak out a win against a better opponent, then they could maybe slide into 8th because CLG sucks. I think Dig is a lost cause, but yeah, there's a lot of action that can happen this weekend. So please stay tuned. We play Friday against Dig at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then Sunday against CLG at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are heavily favored in both games. I looked up the betting odds, so
nice.
That is good, but probably not.
Well, that hopefully things go well. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, me neither. I need to go eat lunch.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to follow us at C9 Bodied, and we'll see you again next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.